language, and my profit on 'tis. I know how to curse. As wicked a Jew as my mother brushed with raven's feather from unwholesome fen, drop on you all. For south, west, blow on ye. Blister you all. Blister you all. There's no welcome here for you. You're kind. Man. Kind. For there is nothing kind in man. Why'd you come here? You come to pillage. You come with words to honour, you say. There is no contract, no bond, no words can hold you. You will, like your brothers before, abuse. I've seen your kind before, and every time you kill more than you can possibly eat, more than you need. And still you take. There is no welcome here for you, mankind. I was born on this isle. It is my home. Its rocks are cold and hard. Its winds biting, its seas sweeping and full of fast fury. Stray not too far, for there are many ways, paths that will lead you astray. Bend your will. This isle is full of the echoes of death. Listen. Can you hear? Many voices call. You're not the first. You will be the last. This isle was meant to be the death of me, wrapped in the tomb of my mother's womb, exiled to this barren rock where Sycorax, my mother, was meant to die. A judgment from God for this pregnant she, for pregnant as she was with this form, me. She could not be burned by hand of any man, lest the sin of killing the innocent should fall upon their head, leave them damned. Better to cast your pregnant witch out here. Let her die a slow and lingering death, judged by nature and by God's own hand. No one wished to see her belly burst and a fetus fall into the searing flames of retribution. Hear our screams! But Sycorax, my mother, did not die. Instead, she bore me, unwholesome, half-made, barely living upon this cold, hard ground, carrion for crows, or so she thought. But I too defied the cruel gods, and I lived on. God knows how many times I wished me dead. Wolves came and succored me, less cruel than she, but straight after birth left me for dead. Feral babe, feral child, look now at me. I'm not human, nor am I beast, yet. I share your semen, your blood, but not your need for vengeance, which I once did share. Here it says that witches must be purged in the red-hot flames of holy fires. Midwives, herbalists, and the healers of women must die. For only man has access to knowledge. Only man can sanctify, save, and kill. Jealous man, burn flesh, burn and crackle midst the screams of innocence. Woman, witch. Sycorax, my mother. She was no healer of women, no goddess to her sisters or her kin. Her heart was blacker than any dark night. Her blood ran colder than any mountain stream. And, like Prospero, she was consumed by other worlds, unseen by mere men. She saw not me in my birthing blood. She did not swaddle me in blankets. She heard not my cries for love nor warmth. Hers were not the concerns of petty life. Hers were the channels unseen of magic. When she discovered the wolves that saved me, she punished, tore out their deep grey eyes. Those deep grey eyes were the only eyes that truly showed any form of love. Love was not for Caliban, not for I. Your God, let her live! Live to abuse me! And Ariel, beautiful Ariel. One day, in a fit of rage, Sycorax had her bound within the living body of a pine tree. Ariel, a thing of light, trapped in the resinous pine. When the pine weeps, its sticky amber, it weeps for Ariel and all the souls still trapped within its jewelled prison. Innocence taken too quickly away. Resin is the tears of all lost hopes. Trapped insects held now in amber, embracing their lost last waggle dance. Sycorax, all consumed with shadow, became a skeleton, and so racked, daily diminished, until at last she revealed her frame, her dress of bones. She became a ghost long before she died, and the brighter her ecstatic state, the dimmer presence became, until she sat, lifted her hand, and died, a husk of humanity mummified by the salt wind and arid sun, till touched by fire, she gave her warmth at last. Her hair whispers still on blackthorn barbs. I danced once, drunk with sailor jesters. I danced for myself and no one else. Ha! Ah! Ah! I wish that I'd danced more than I had. Pity poor Caliban. No lover, no dancer under the bed sheets. No, for Caliban, no bed but a hard rock. No cover but the canopy of dark night and stars, which you could but name. I lived them, Prospero. I lived the stars. Will this day find the code? Will discern the written words, hidden meanings. When Sycorax died, she left Ariel, still trapped in the knotty pine, left Caliban to defend himself. A child alone on a wind-swept rock, and I was left to die a second time. 12 years. 12 years of grief. Ariel's cries pierced the very night. Bears, wolves, beasts of all nature cried alongside her in shared agony. And this isle was full of wild beasts before Sycorax and before mankind. The nightly screams of Ariel drove us mad. All mad. None could withstand the sound. The bears cried, clawed out their own hearts. The wolves devoured one another. The beasts drowned themselves in the rapacious seas, churning, ever-consuming seas. Birds took flight until they fell exhausted and dead. For weeks their feathered bodies washed up, a pitiful flotsam and jetsam. And I, clawing at the pine bark with hands and flint and rock, tearing the flesh, nails ripped, leaving bloody bark which wept and wept. 12 long years of sorrow. And then you came, Prospero, our Saviour, our Lord. When thou camest first, thou strokest me, and madest much of me. Didst give me water with berries in it, and to teach me how to name the bigger light and how the less that burn by day and night. And then I loved thee and showed thee all the qualities of the isle. Fresh springs, brine pits, barren place, and fertile. Cursed be I that did so. Oh, you heard the nightly screams of Ariel, cleft up in the knotty pine. You set our beloved Ariel free, and we all did love thee for this kindness. But Prospero, duplicitous man, you set Ariel free at a cost. Ariel was free to do your bidding, and who, freed from such torment, who would not willingly bind themselves to this? And you, but we hoped kinder master, who would be so churlish to say no? But 12 years more of gratitude, freedom. There's always another day off, another task away, and always with a threat of imprisonment within that same knotty pine. And you find Ariel, your saviour, is your new prison warder, and that your master is as cruel as she, as cruel as any man, disguising with love his punishment, his need to control. I love you. Therefore it is with that love that I can punish you, bind you, beat you. It is with love that I leave you bruised. It is with love that I force you down, down. All the charms of sycorax, toads, beetles, bats, on Prosper fall, and make him by inch meal a disease. Oh, yes, you taught me how to name the bigger light and how the less that burn by day and night. The plants, the insects, the trees, name them all. The birds, the insects. But look down on me, who only lived with them, who knew them not by name, but by nature. Taught me to find my way by the stars. North, south, east and west. Never seen that I knew every rock and blade of grass. The rise and fall of tide was my hourglass. Needed no light to find my way. Could scent in pitch blackness my path across the land. The things inside your books lay outside your cave. Yours now by theft. How did you kick the dog out of its home, its kennel Prospero? Did you tell them that? How you did scorn and burn and bite me and threaten me with all hell's damnations for your new-found slave. Still, you quantify and you qualify the lineage, habits and habitats of every beetle, mouse and mole, but you do not see nor understand the things which lay outside the pool of light. Oh, you study nature by ounce and by pound, by inch and by quarter, but you do not see all that is around you, all that could be. I live in this isle. This isle lives in me. I am Caliban. This is Caliban. Your heart is paper thin, writ with lines which map your desire for future power. And into this experiment you cast your own flesh and blood, your own kith and kin. No less a subject for scrutiny than this bookworm, turning your words into shit. Oh. How do you measure love, Prospero? What formulae for passion, for fire? With scalpel you can reveal the heart, but not Prospero. Not the heart's desire. Like a god with his clay, you hope to mould a replica doll who you can wind up to play a part in your kingdom lost. But my Miranda, he did betray you. Betrayed your fear, your hatred, and your need. Your unspoken desire to be loved, which he used against you. As with myself, so with his own daughter. Miranda, hostage to a future, burdened nonetheless with a dark past. I, who have not known love, was deceived. Confused your kindness and your care. Took lust for love and do abuse myself. And in wishing to people this, my isle, with Calibans, I do betray myself. Miranda, fair, so unworldly wise, playing with fire and your own desire, exploring your newfound sexuality, which your father is saving for some who, your royal blood to Bridger's return. Prospero locked you into chastity for the sake of his own brokerage, and you, your desires once unchecked, and he, distracted by some notion, left you free to tease and torment with glimpse of breast, thigh, shoulder, and more. Did let naked Caliban swim with thee and carry thee upon my shoulders. Their thigh wet, wrapped neck. You were not wholly innocent. You knew. But when you sense the raging flood of sex, cry ape, cry havoc, cry quench this fire. You point a finger and you change your tongue. From lover to accuser you betray. So save what? Your clumsy virginity. Oh, how? Oh, how? What wouldn't have been done? I bear the scars of Prospero's anger. Vengeance, anger, the lash of the whip. I would have been your king, your protector. You, my lover, my queen, my child bride. If I had your magic then, Oh, what then? Rock, skull, to smash the head of Prospero! Children, still believing in your magic. You think you've grown up, you're wiser, but you still believe in such magic. All this stuff of folly, of illusion. You believe your own lies and the lies of men who dazzle you. You're still such children. You learn nothing. You know nothing. But you act like gods. But petty gods, full of human weakness and bitter bile. From the gash of your mother's young cunt to the cold, rasping gasp, you learn nothing. And you blind yourself with heaven, and you fear yourselves with hells and torments. Never seeing that this is magic for now. Here are 1,000 voices, musical. Listen. Can you hear? Or are you deaf to nature's voice? The deep-rooted tremor between trees. The resonance of taproot sap rising. You silence with saw and axe and fire. If you could but learn to hear the voices, how much richer your life would be. But instead, you paint the surface. You scratch the surface, paper thin, and make your claims for knowledge and wisdom. Bloodroot, milk thistle, you call this, and this you call sage, and this bitter witch hazel for the shits. This whole island, my provider, my larder, my medicine chest, my friend and my foe, holds no shade in blasted endless heat, no bitter stabbing rain lash like the whip, except for the cave which you usurped from me. Then did I fill the cave with meadow sweet, to induce dark dreams from which the sleeper would never return. I would fox your gloves with digitalis, listening to your heart beat loudly. Once your intent revealed to me to make me prisoner, bind me to your will, I, bent by stomach cramps and tortured, did seek the wild berries and the mushrooms, herbs and plants to render you dead. But once again, your books came to save you, referencing my crime and my intent. Book binding me to my open guilt. I wished then to burn your books to ashes. And now, I sift through soft, grey, fragile leaves. Piece together your magic words, faded whispers that hint of your power. I watched your fingers run across these lines. Watched your lips move with your fingers. The patterns indiscernible were words. And as I stacked wood, carried water, swept your cave, I watched and slowly learned the patterns which make your hidden words. My mother was a witch, a dark witch. My surrogate father, one Prospero, a magician of words and of power. Hide away, Prospero. Hide you away. Hide away in your safe cave. Let Caliban live under twigs and moss while you tell your newfound court your lies. Spread false truths of Caliban and his shame. You tell of your studies of this isle, and the debasement of nature and of law by those you've studied in your books. Kali, Anubis, Hecate, Morrigan, all painted with your rich tongue as black art, when your own art is blacker than any pitch. Oh, noble Prospero, self-proclaiming man, mankind. Ah, what a thing you are, man. I have seen the skeletal remains of seabirds, stomachs filled with fish-like trinkets, the seas awash with false jellyfish, glittering with your fleeting passions. I've seen whales, beached and bloated, guts exploded on the floor, filled with junk. You catalogue the things you kill as if paper copies could be folded and made to fly and dance and sing. Dug I once honey from the hives of bees. Bees which your science implores cannot fly, did swarm in their impossible flight. Now they lie, silenced and decimated. A massacre of such sweet bitterness. Well, I will not let unkind man make this a grave for his unreasonable needs. Ah, I have learned your magic, Prospero. learned and changed and made better. For now, it respects the earth and wind. No more hurt. No more pain. No more cries. No more lies. No more torn and ripped. No lashes. No welts. No blood in my mouth. Bruised eyes. No more abuse. No more abuse. I am a nature child, born on rock and left to die, but did not die, would not die, beaten, but did not cry, nor cry I still. So now I will save this island from man's harms, from Prospero's cruelties, from abuse. I will take what is mine and what is sacred, and I will save it from man, from all men. And I see what you are. I hear you. And I feel what you are. Can smell you and taste you on my tongue. Taste the lust which reeks of rank decay and fetid nights of sex. Your salt-laced hormonal sweats betrays you. And still in your throes, you feel the need to rape and pillage, devour all that you see, as if your suicide should also be the death of everything and of me. Your oceans rise to drown out our cries, still thinking you could hold back tides that grow now in potency. Reflect on you. Impotent man. Oh, arrogant. Arrogant man. After all histories had been settled, the question of what to do with Caliban, whose ownership no one questioned, save for one Caliban. But who gives voice to the voiceless, the dumb masses? Your intent to show a freak of nature, a scientific curiosity, and sell to the highest bidder. Fatal the flaw to break your staff before you had me bound in irons and clapped in chains below your ship deck. For Caliban, now unrestrained, ran free, escaped your magic bond of slavery. And here I lay, and watched your ships sail. Time is now the enemy I fear. Loneliness I've conquered. If not in full, then enough. So every day is not a torture, a burden to me. But time has taken its toll. I lose weight, piss blood away. I'm racked with pains, with dreams. I'm burned and turned and tossed. So let me no longer dwell here in this light. The time has come for endless night. To use Prospero's words one last time. To conjure a craft of mothers, fathers, abuse and fear into a final prayer. To take this island from your sight at last. Farewell, master! Farewell, farewell! No more dams I'll make for fish, nor fetching, firing gap requiring no scrape trencher, nor wash dish. Ban! Ban! To Caliban! Has a new master! Get a new man! Freedom! Heyday! Freedom! Freedom! Heyday! Freedom! With your magic words now pieced together, I'll weave a spell of Prospero's words, bound with the curse of Sycorax, spells which I have of late rekindled. Now I, Caliban, once slave to man, do wholly free myself and all who dwell upon this island of sounds and dreams, where no man's foot shall tread or astray. Where once island, soon let there be only distant horizons and sea. But I, Caliban, I will banish thee. Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes and groves, and ye that on the sands with printless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back. You, demi-puppets, that by moonshine do the green sour ringlets make, whereof the ewe not bites, and you, whose pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I have bedimmed the noontide sun, called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault set roaring war. To the dread rattling thunder have I given fire, and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong-based promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves, at my command, have waked their sleepers. oped and let 'em forth by my so potent art. Our revels now are ended. These our actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the solemn temples, the great globe itself, yea, all which it inherit, shall dissolve. And like this insubstantial pageant faded, leave not a wreck behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on. And our little life is rounded